Kamui Kobayashi has taken pole position for tomorrow's 6 hours of Fuji, beating his own hypercar lap record by 2.5 seconds to lead home a Toyota 1-2. Kobayashi set a 1:27.794 to take pole, going 6 tenths clear of Brendan Hartley in car 8. Porsche had their best hypercar qualifying to date, locking out the second row, with Alex Lynn 5th for Cadillac and James Collado rounding out the top 6 aboard the 51 Ferrari. The hypercar session was weather affected. The track was very green from earlier rain, and then it started raining again in the final few minutes, which caught a few teams out. Toyota have proven themselves to be the class of the field this weekend, and enter race day as the clear favourites to take a 9th win in 10 starts at Fuji Speedway. The battle looks set to be 7 versus 8, rather than 7 and 8 versus the world, which, however fair Toyota's team orders rules are, is slightly less enthralling than the prospect we had at Le Mans and Monza. And they have to be careful on lap 1. You've got a second row with nothing to lose, and a hairpin perfect for an optimistic dive bomb. Porsche Penske Motorsport have had their best day to date as a hypercar team, the 963 looking very strong around here, with them appearing the second quickest. The aim has to be for a second podium finish of the season, and that'll require avoiding a fall off in race pace that we've seen multiple times this year. Generally, they've been quite good on strategy, so the aim has to be putting it all together this weekend. Oh, and going guns blazing at the start will do morale no harm. Cadillac Racing will be content with 5th, although for maybe the first time they don't look like the strongest LMDH car. Another podium finish is definitely within touching distance for them, as they continue their quietly impressive season. Ferrari had a disappointing qualifying, ending up down in 6th and 7th at the first track this year they haven't already tested at, which made the wet free practice bad news for them. To keep their championship hopes alive, they'll need to make progress during the race, but when you look at how hungry the rows behind them on the grid are, they'll need to keep one eye in the mirrors early on. It's the first time this season the Ferrari hasn't looked like at least the second quickest car, and unless they find some pace, their podium streak is definitely at risk. Hertz Team Jota would have been hoping for better than 8th on the grid after looking strong all weekend, but with a competitive Porsche package, they'll be aiming to move forward in the race. And as always, you can count on Jota to get aggressive if this becomes a strategy affair. It's a strong 9th for Proton competition, just 2 tenths down on Antonio Felix da Costa. Proton messed up at the start of qualifying, sending Gianmaria Bruni out on wets, meaning by the time he'd changed to slicks and got them up to temperature, the rain was already coming in, and the chance at an even better time was lost. Peugeot Total Energies will be bitterly disappointed to end up down in 10th and 11th, as a lock-up for Loic Duval stopped him getting a strong run in before the rain came. The hopes for the race are much more optimistic, and although qualifying doesn't count for much in a 6-hour race, this is a blow given how hyped the hopes were for this weekend. And Floyd Vanwall Racing Team ended up last in hypercar, the weather not helping with their need to have the longest tyre warm-up in the class. Still, with no major issues so far this weekend, the dream of a clean and reliable race is very much alive, and although they are set to start behind one of the LMP2s, they should easily be able to dispatch of them in the race. Given the gap between them and Ferrari, Toyota can have hopes of sealing the Manufacturers' Championship tomorrow. They now have a 27-point lead and need a gap of 39 or more to become champions, which means if they win, Ferrari need to finish on the podium. The 8 crew can also clinch the driver's title, but will still need a bit more luck. What is now clear is their biggest rivals are on the other side of the garage, with the 7 now 22 points back after picking up the bonus point for pole. Phil Hansen took his first ever LMP2 pole for United Autosports, with championship leader Louis Delatraz having to settle for second and Oliver Jarvis putting the sister United car third, as in another very close session all but one car was covered by less than a second. Championship challengers into Europole competition got involved in an incident in free practice 3, which I haven't mentioned much about as it was mainly clean and in mixed conditions, and it was also topped by Kobayashi. Fabio Scherer was given a suspended drive-through penalty for contact with the 54 Ferrari, meaning he'll have to be careful to avoid any contact with GT cars in the race and at Bahrain. Looking ahead to the race, a couple of teams are mixing things up in their quest for a race victory. Josh Pearson will start the 23 car for the first time all season, whilst Prema have changed to the alternate strategy and Daniel Kvyat will be behind the wheel for the opening stint. And in LMGT not even 30 kilograms of success ballast can stop Ben Keating, as the Texan beat Sarah Bovey by 35 thousandths of a second for pole position. Hopes will be high for D-Station Racing after Satoshi Hoshino qualified a strong third, and as the only team starting their pro tomorrow, you can expect them to jump into an early lead. This will by no means be a Corvette romp, as weight hurts you much more over race distance than it does in qualifying. The 2023 6 Hours of Fuji begins at 11 AM local time, which is 2 AM UTC, and the weather forecast looks good with all of the rain behind us and temperatures just below 30 degrees Celsius. Who do you think will win tomorrow? Can anyone stop Toyota? Please let me know in the comments below, and whilst you're down there, why not press that like button and subscribe to the channel? It really helps me out.